and welcome to This Week in Tyler Daniels Racing. I'm Andy Shaner.
And I'm Brendan Shaner. And let's start with Sunday Coffee and Cars.
And we're going to get ready to go here. The pace cars off. These are ARCA cars at Bristol. We got Chris Curentar in first place here, with Lucas Gortman in second. And Cody creeping up on Chris. Oh, and Cody gets him. Cody in the lead. As they go around the turn. It looks like the 12 car got up into the wall and spun out, coming down right into that 63 car. And then they come together, go into the wall. So maybe the 10 car gets up. No, the 21 spins out, flicks the 12 and 9 car. And the 25. And oh my goodness, there's another wreck after the restart. The 2 car of Chris comes down, flicks 1 car, and then the 18 car spins out and gets rammed by the 6 car. And on lap 52, we got another wreck. Looks like the 21 car hits the 6 car and takes out the 0 car and the 10 car. And that's going to be another caution. There's another wreck here on lap 60 of the race. Looks like the 6 car came down into the 76 and collects a whole bunch of cars. And there's a car flipping, and the 2 car gets spun. Looks like the 707 car of Andrew might have been in the wrong gear when starting this race, because he was in second place. He just dropped like 12 positions. Here with only 49 left to go, there is another wreck. Looks like the 0 car came into the 25 car of Tyler Daniels, and they had a big wreck here, and looks like they collected the 10 car. And on your white flag lap, the 6 car of Lucas Gortman wins it all. It wasn't even a close race. He was so far ahead of everybody. And here are our results for the race. Lucas Gortman win. Adam J. Ritchie in second. And Chris Currington in third. And Lucas Gortman, Adam J. Ritchie, Chris Currington are standing for the league. And this is our schedule. We are off this week.
And let's continue Sunday night with Sunday Night Thunder.
And here we go, 150 laps at Richmond Speedway with Nick Hansen and Blair Patterson on your front row. After the first 20 laps, you still have Nick Hansen in the 33 car in the lead, followed by Mike McConville and Brian McCain in third. As of 50 laps, Nick Hansen still with the lead as he has led every lap so far, followed by Brian McCann as they pull away from the rest of the pack. On lap 54, the leaders Nick Hansen and Brian McCann come in for a round of green flag pit stops, as this entire race so far has gone green. On lap 61, as green flag pit stops shake out, Nick Hansen regains the lead, again followed by Brian McCann. Lucas Gortman now takes third. As we hit the 100 lap mark, Nick Hansen still in full command of this race. All 100 laps so far have been run under green. With 29 to go, the 19 of Steve Miller gets loose, and the 99 gets into him, and that will bring out the first caution of this race as the leaders pass through. As we restart with 24 laps to go, it's Nick Hansen and Brian McCann leading the pack once again. With just 10 laps to go, Nick Hansen is still in the lead, followed by Brian McCann. McCann seems to start to close the gap here. With just 5 laps left, it looks like McCann starts to make his move on Hansen as he starts to pull in front of Hansen. With 3 to go, McCann pulls away as Hansen looks to close that gap and regain his lead. As they come around the final turn, McCann is pulling away from Hansen as McCann will take the checkered flag tonight at Richmond. Despite running 123 laps in the lead, Hansen will finish second to McCann. There were 6 lead changes among 5 drivers in tonight's race, with McCann, Hansen, McConville, Patterson, and Scruggs all leading the pack. And here are the final results of the night at Richmond. McCann followed by Hansen and Gortman, Conville, and Glover are the top 5. Your current standings for the Sunday Night Thunder: Hansen and McConville are your top 2, followed by Poole, Chan, and Scruggs.
And we've got a special report on Mud Mondays from Chris Standridge.
Hey, this is Chris Standridge bringing you the Mud Monday Report. This was championship week for Season 1 of Mud Monday, and that brought the 305 sprint cars and the limited late models to the high base of Eldora Speedway for an exciting double points night to determine the championships. The cars to watch tonight were the number 3 of Barry Bates, the points leader in late models, the 92 of Robert Bridges, who was in second, and the 40 of Derek Nearhood, who was second in points in the Sportsman 305 division. In the sprint cars, the 22 of Chris Standridge would set fast time and go on to win his heat race, while the 74 of Ryan Nesbitt won the second heat, and the 32 Dwayne Kenner brought home the third heat. The 32 of Dwayne Kenner started on the pole and led 8 laps until Ryan Nesbitt took over for 8 laps. However, the veteran number 12, Joe Vaught, would take the lead in lap 16 as the track slicked up and the yellow started to come out, and he would go on to win the A main feature tonight. In the late models, the 12 of Joe Vaught would have the fast time, but an accident in his heat race forced him to finish last, allowing Stephen Lindo to win the heat. Robert Bridges and Barry Bates, number 1 and 2 in the points lead, finished first and second in the heat race, setting up a showdown in the feature. Car number 14 of Stephen Lindo would take the pole for the A main, leading 31 laps of a yellow-filled race. Barry Bates and Robert Bridges battled back and forth for second. Whoever would finish higher would take the points championship. Unfortunately, Bridges met with some traffic on lap 23, and though he battled back, it wouldn't be enough as Bates took advantage of the last restart to pull around Lindo for the win and the late model points championship. It was a great first season for both series. Derek Nearhood won street stock races at Lanier and Charlotte. Christopher Schaefer took the first 305 victory at USA International, while Wesley Schreiner took the second 305 at Knoxville. Casey Harmon took the last street stock victory, while Joe Vaught won the last 305 at Eldora. In the late models, Stephen Lindo took the first late model victory at Lanier, while Cody Walling took the second race at USA International. Robert Bridges won the third race at Charlotte, and Barry Bates finished the season with victories at Volusia and Eldora. Next season's going to be a little different as we break up the group. The first race every night will be a rookies-only race to get more experience for the people who just don't race very often, focusing on the dirt street stocks, while the second race will be a 305 league open to anyone for a more competitive racing experience. We look forward to seeing you guys there. This has been your Mud Monday Report.
Joining us now is Chris Standridge, host of Mud Mondays on Tyler Daniels Racing. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mud Mondays is the first Tyler Daniels League to end. How do you feel about the experience?
I thought that see, when the season started, we really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the skill level was going to be of the drivers who came in. And so what we did was we just wanted it to be a true rookie league, and we were just going to let anybody in and just kind of see how it goes and try to develop it from there. And we had some bumps and bruises along the way, but I think overall it went really well. We got a really good group of people who came together. And by the end of the season here, we've kind of figured out now what we want to do. So the first season was a little bumpy, but I think it's going to allow our second season to be really awesome.
So you mentioned that. How did the rookies do hanging with those experienced drivers out there on the dirt?
Oh, they did really well, actually. At the beginning, there was a lot of spinning, a lot of yellows. but every week it got a little bit better. And I'll say I know a couple of veterans that I've run with in other leagues that they came in to join us thinking that they were going to run all over us, and a couple of the rookies really stepped up and would beat them, and then all of a sudden we wouldn't see those veterans again. So I'd say a lot of the drivers really came a long way. We definitely need to have a pure rookie league so that several of our drivers can keep getting better, but several of them are ready for the competitive league we're going to be doing this fall.
Awesome.
You drive a dirt car in real life. How does iRacing compare to the real thing?
I wish I could say that, oh yeah, they're very similar, but it's really, there are some good things that come out of it. I joined iRacing to try to see if I can get more experience, but there's just so many things that happen in real life racing that don't on iRacing. Like for instance, last week the starter wouldn't work on a car, and I got disqualified. I couldn't run. There's no fast repair. You're done for the night. You're out $200 at the end. You don't get that in iRacing. If you flip in iRacing, destroy the whole car. Well, hey, just pull in, fix it, and go right back out. No problem. You also in real life, there's real danger. I mean, you have to feel the car. You can feel it going into the turn. If somebody is spun out in front of you, you're not going to push through and try to see if you can get that win. You're going to slam on the brakes and spin the car to keep from hitting them, because you're going to break a lot of stuff, or hurt yourself or hurt them. So in iRacing, people just they just fly right through other cars, whereas in dirt track racing, you gotta play it safe, or you're not going to be out there anymore. But I've played video games all my life, and the iRacing is as close as anybody's ever gotten to what real life racing is like. So it's really good, just not there yet.
Awesome. So when it comes to Tyler Daniels Racing, what has your experience been like?
Oh, it's been great. Well, okay, here's the problem. Tyler Daniels Racing has actually ruined all my other leagues because it's so good. It's so much fun to hang out with all these guys. I don't really like going into a lot of these other leagues because the people in there are just not friendly. I still go run the other leagues every now and then just because they're competitive and it's fun to race against really good drivers, but they all yell and scream at each other. And if somebody spins, you got people cussing each other out. It's just not fun. In the Tyler Daniels Racing, for the most part, it's been very friendly. People spin out. It's okay. The league is growing to a point where we're starting to have to make calls. That's the thing, is for the first long while here, we just excused everybody. It's okay. But now we're getting aggressive enough that we have to start looking at some of these spins and start looking at some of the drivers. And that's a good thing. That's really good. I was telling Michael the other night that's good. That means the league is growing and getting better. So.
Good.
Where do you think Tyler Daniels Racing is heading?
Oh man, I don't know. I run a couple of the leagues, but what we really need is just like a CEO. We need somebody who's going to be the figurehead, somebody who's going to be the top dog and can kind of tell the rest of us what to do. Because there's a lot of times where I'm talking with Dustin or Nick or somebody, and we don't know what to do. We'd like to have somebody that could say, okay, here's the rule in each league or what have you. And we need to identify what kind of league are we? Are we going to be a league that is dedicated to having fun and, not stressing about winning? Or are we going to be just like other leagues and where we've got aggressive drivers, yelling and screaming at each other, going for the win? I'm hoping that we're going to be a league that's about fun. First and foremost, fun. That doesn't mean it's okay to go take somebody out. We want to try to keep the racing clean, but every now and then in dirt racing and in some of the other leagues I run, you'll get somebody come in and they'll drop some attitude on some other drivers, and we just kind of ask them, hey, maybe this isn't the league for you. We want to try to keep it as friendly as possible, but we're going to have to kind of gather around somebody to help us keep that.
So with Mud Mondays ending, what's coming next for Tyler Daniels Racing in the form of dirt track racing?
Well, as I kind of mentioned before, we're going to split into like two separate leagues of sorts. We're going to have one that's pure rookie. We're going to limit it to the classifications to rookie and D and like a 1500 I rating or lower, and just keep a real close eye. Basically, like if you're really good or you're getting better to the point where you're like winning a lot, we may just graduate you and ask you to go ahead and move up to the other league, which is going to be a more competitive league. We're going to do a 305 sprint league, which will be the second race every Monday night. And that one's going to be open to anybody. Anybody can come in. It'll be real competitive. We'll keep an eye on it to make sure nobody's, like I said earlier, not getting too competitive. But the idea on that one is we're not just watching out for rookies. We're trying to go in and win. And we're going to encourage our rookies to go ahead and try it out. Come in. 305 sprints are probably the easiest dirt car to drive in the game. Go in, try it out, get some good experience running against the more advanced guys, and have some fun and use it as a measuring stick to see where you're at.
Awesome. Well, Chris, we do appreciate your time and joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks again, Chris. That was a great report. Now, let's take a look at our trivia from last week and our new trivia question.
And it's trivia time. Last week's question was the very first auto completion was the Paris Rowan, who crossed the finish line first. The answer was Count Jules Dion, and the trivia winner was Blair Patterson. Thank you so much for entering your guess in the comments. This week's question is, in 2011, the Series NASCAR Sprint Cup, the top 2 drivers actually raced the entire 10-week chase to end in tie by points. Tony Stewart was declared the winner in a tiebreaker. He had more wins on the season. Who was the disappointed second-place finisher? Now, remember, in order to place your guesses, you have to subscribe to the Back Sports YouTube channel, like the video, share the video, and put your answer in the comments when you're done.
Another great trivia question. Remember, subscribe, like, and comment your answer in the video. Now, let's move on to Tuesday night. It's ARCA Cars.
ARCA Tuesday here at Texas. Fuel and pit strategy came into play with this race. Ultimately, Brian McCann, Mike McConville, and Paul Olson rounded out your podium finishes. Upcoming next week, ARCA Tuesday will head on to Watkins Glen. Here is your standings currently in the ARCA Tuesday. Upcoming schedule, like I said, Watkins Glen follows next as we are getting close to the end of the season.
Now we're going to take a look at a little bit something different, something that has hit home for one of our members.
This week, our very own Nick Hansen, host of Sunday Night Thunder, and his fellow Iowans experienced a terrible storm that came through their area of Grinnell and Cedar Rapids. This storm produced heavy winds up to 100 miles an hour and created devastating destruction. Iowans were displaced from their homes and left without power for multiple days. Here at Tyler Daniels Racing, we will be hosting a charity race for the Iowa Food Bank. Our hope is that our donations will help the Iowa Food Bank replenish any food that is needed for Iowans that have been affected by this storm.
And now it's Radical Wednesdays in the SR8 cars.
And we've got our SR8 cars getting ready to go. Your top 3 is David, Steven, and Tom. And the pace car's off, and they're green. They're going green. It should be a pretty good race. And we've got a wreck on 1. Looks like the 75 car that started it all. Watch it here. 75 comes down to that red car. It's into 22. That just takes everybody out. Tyler Daniels ramping off the front of that 22. Launching into the air like a rocket ship. And we can see from another view here from Tyler Daniels' cockpit. We see that they got into it, then he just gets ramped off the straight up. Another wreck here on 10. It looks like we've got the monster car coming into 35. That just takes out 75 and collects another car. And we're gonna have another caution. Here on lap 20, we still got David, Steven, and Mason in our top 3 positions. Halfway through the race at lap 20. Here with 5 left to go, we still got David, Steven, and Mason in our top 3. Here with the last lap to go, David in the lead. We'll see if we'll be able to pass him. I don't know here. Looks like Steven's in the lead now. Who's gonna win? It looks like Steven won the race. Oh, and they're all wrecking right here after the checkered flag. Oh my goodness, they all just wrecked right after the checkered. Congratulations to Steven on winning this race.
Thank you for watching This Week in Tyler Daniels Racing. I'm Brendan Chainer.
And I'm Andy Shaner. Thanks for watching.